Good great morning to ya, it's your girl Key. This video is all about weight, well-being and acceptance. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's one of the battles I've had all my life with regards to my weight, how I feel about myself, my confidence and acceptance. And the reality of it is I have struggled to accept myself at a higher weight. So if my weight goes over a certain amount, it just affects my well-being. And what I've also noticed is that it gives rise to this inner critic in me where it berates the things that I do, it finds faults. So if I look at myself in pictures, all I can see are the problems, and then I over focus on them, and then the voice finds more and more reasons to be up on me. But what I also noticed, because of late I've been on holiday, I went to an all-inclusive resort, which is really not good for the waistline, is that when I put on weight, the harsh inner critic gets fuel. It gets fuel to start ridiculing me, to make me feel bad. And then what I also noticed that was going on with myself is that it also meant that I was thinking about, so I had an appointment to meet a friend. It also meant that that voice was like, oh, cancel the meeting. What do you want to see her for? You're going to have to put a mask on and pretend everything's okay and you don't feel like it. And so I was tempted to cancel that meeting to meet with my friend, but actually what I did was pushed through, because what I've come to realize is, yes, my well-being and my weight are very closely interlinked, and if I put on weight, I don't feel great about myself. And so to some degree, doing videos has been really helpful for my well-being, because it means I often have to look at myself, and it often means I take more care of myself. And so, that's just been like one unintended consequence of doing videos, is that I'm always looking at myself. And so I really value that. But also, it means that if my weight increases, that I also know my harsh inner critic is going to go on a rampage, and that will mean that it finds fault in everything as I do. But also with my particular harsh inner critic, it means that it also tries to isolate me. So it means I won't see friends. It means that I won't talk about what's going on for me. And those isolation, being on your own and not talking about what the problem is really unhelpful. And I'm very fortunate that I have a very supportive inner circle. And so even though that voice, internal voice, that harsh inner critic is telling me to cancel meetings, to not tell friends, I talk it out. I talk through my issues with trusted confidants in my circle. And when I'm going through dilemmas, what happens is, and I don't know if anybody else has this out there, but I'm able to observe myself. So there's Keeley going from it, but there's this other part of me that can observe. And when I'm observing myself, that's where I get ideas about, like, I guess the quandary that goes through my mind is, if I'm a therapist and I'm very well supported, and I know a lot about this whole industry, I know a lot about well-being and potential self-sabotage, and I battle, what do other people do? Like, how do they cope? How do they cope when your inner critic's kicked off? And who do you tell? Because I know mine tells me, like, stay by yourself, be silent. And when I talk about it, the voice seems to recede. So what do other people do in these situations? Because I would believe it's highly likely that you end up isolating yourself, staying alone, and being the victim to the voice in your head. And what for me was beautiful about articulating my battle to people was that actually my friend then spoke to me about an issue that she had with herself, that who knew, And I was just like, we both met each other with our vulnerabilities, you know, and I think that was actually really priceless. And I feel like it's done something really beautiful. Added just another new dimension to our friendship. And I guess what I also noticed with my harsh inner critic and the vengeance it comes back with is that also it tries to make me feel ashamed. It makes me feel ashamed, and that how can you tell anyone, Key, because here you are, you know, doing videos, helping people to change their life, but you battle. So you're a charlatan. And that's the kind of dialogue that's going on all in my head, all by myself. And so by connecting with people, by not listening that, to make sure I reach out and connect with people, I don't stay alone, I tell trusted confidants I've overcome and I've come through, which is why I can, you know, easily do a video about this today. And so I'm back on it. I'm back on going to the gym, because I now know when I don't go to the gym, it affects my well-being, because I wasn't going to the gym when I was on holiday. Naturally, I was overeating, because that's what you do in an all-inclusive resort. And now I'm back on the kale. Hate to love kale. We know it's good for us. And so I'm grateful that I've put those things in place, and that harsh inner critic has receded. It's gone. And now what I'm left with is content, actually. Content that I can talk about, an experience that I can talk about, that I hope will be of benefit to you, because I struggle. I really struggle to accept myself when my weight goes up. It's not good for my well-being. And because I struggle to accept myself, it means that so in that regard, self-acceptance is very difficult when I'm a higher weight and my clothes get tight and I might have to go buying another set of clothes or go back into Evans, because I used to shop in Evans when I was a bigger size. And so like, I struggle to accept myself. And what the antidote to that is, well, Key, if you struggle to accept yourself, do something about it. Yeah. And that's what I've done. So I'm back in the gym, been this morning already, and that was a battle in and of itself, but I pushed through. And I'm back on, you know, looking at my diet. And additionally, I've joined Weight Watchers, because what that does is Weight Watchers gives me accountability. It means that every Tuesday I weigh. It means that I've got apps on my phones that means that I can track food, so I stay woke about what things mean, because, you know, sometimes food isn't what you think it is, you know. So sometimes it may have more fat in it than you think, or more sugar, and actually it can be detrimental to your efforts to control your weight. And doing those practices, watching my food, rejoining Weight Watchers, and going to the gym has enabled that harsh inner critic, that voice within me, to recede. It's gone. And it's also given me a sense of power, and given me a sense of regaining my power. And so I feel like, yeah, I've got that back in control, and that is a great feeling. And so if you're someone and you are battling with self-acceptance, something about your physicality, inbox me, ask me questions, or request a video. I'll only be too happy to help, because, you know, we all battle in life. And as I said in my recent post, like, self-acceptance is a journey. Please don't believe that you just arrive and everything is like, you never battle again. That voice, I know my voice, is like always hovers in the background, waiting for an opportunity to berate me, to make me play small. And I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm going to draw upon my inner circle, people that love me, people that care about me, and I'm going to tell them I'm battling, and I'm going to find answers. I'm going to take responsibility, and by doing that, things change. I hope this video will be of benefit to you. If it is, or if you know someone who's battling, please share, because we all need the love.